Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Razor. Got another shave of the day, and today we're going to be delving into something that's been around for a while and I really like. Is the coconut lime from Stirling. Now, if you're curious what the scent is, coconut and lime, kind of sweet. Actually, it's very sweet. A very sweet scent. There you go. I like this stuff. So, if you like coconut and you like lime, combined together, you get the lime and the coconut. There you go. Good stuff. I like it. And just if you're curious, it smells like lime and coconut. Pretty straightforward. Alright. And today we're going to be using the 1964 Gillette Slim. It's as old as me. I think this one's slightly older than me. With Astra blade, second use on this one. So we'll just see how this all works out. Alright. Oh, before I do that, add a little bit of moisture to the face. Man, I got the Barbasol 19 on there. Just a little, act as a little pre-shave. A little tired today. I got about 3 hours of sleep. Oh, crazy. You ever have those days where you just can't sleep? It gets worse as you get older. Yeah, it's nice. Nice scent. Man, it smells good. I'm into the kind of natural scents like that. Like, what did I think this is on setting 3? Yep, setting 3. Setting 3 on the razor. Yeah, I went to bed after, it's like 3:30. It's like I didn't do a lot of exercise yesterday because I was running around town. Had a dentist appointment, which has been kind of a nightmare because I put a crown on me on one of my teeth because it was cracked. And they finally got around to getting it fixed. They ground it down, made a mold of it, sent it out, came back, and the mold, the new crown that they were going to put on, said, hey, it fits great. Then they took an x-ray and it was like, had a big void in it. It's like from the manufacturer. So they were like, well, we can't allow that to happen. It'll break sometime on you. So they took a new mold and all the excruciating aspect of that went with it. And they came back and did it again. But this time, they remembered to put a little bit of deadening because I got really sensitive teeth. I have a hard time. I've always had a hard time with cold stuff. People are like, how come you're warming your fruit up? Because it hurts my teeth. And so they put a little deadening agent on there and took care of it. And then I had a new tooth. But I did this during the time I normally do my walk and during the day. But I didn't take my daily walk, so I wasn't tired. Didn't do that. It wasn't a workout day. So at 3:30 in the morning, I'm like, I probably should go to bed. I'm not tired though. I'm like an Energizer bunny when it comes to, I have to wear myself out to sleep. Because if I don't, then about every third day I get a good sleep because I'm actually physically tired. Because the brain says, hey, go to bed, you're not sleeping enough. Which, I'll probably sleep good tonight because It's like I went to bed at 3:30 and 7 o'clock rolls around. This is early in the morning for me because normally this is about the time I'm getting out of bed. I'm shaving and everything already today. So I only got about 3.5 hours sleep. My wife is always like, how do you stay awake? Easy. Just not tired. And the worst thing is, I'm on some meds called gabapentin, which is, it's like people, my brother had it when he got in an accident. He had to have it because he had broken ribs, and they put it on it to help with the healing process and deadening some of the nerves. And he was on like 300 milligrams. He's like, I can't stay awake. I'm so tired. And it just caught my ear. Did I cut it? Yes, I did. And see, that's what happens when you're not paying attention. Slice and dice yourself. And next door neighbors, they were on like 300 and 600 milligrams of it, and they couldn't stay awake. I'm like, oh, that's nice. You guys are on hardly anything. I take 1,800 a day, and it doesn't bother me. That's like doctor says, I think you just metabolize it so quickly that it doesn't even register that you have it. It's like when I was getting my dental work done, they shot me up, and within 20 minutes, it's like I'm starting to feel pain. And they go, it's like, man, that was enough to keep most people numb for an hour or two. And I'm like, well, that is just the way it is with me. So, well, I really did catch that ear. Wow, what the heck did I do? I must have poked it with the edge of the razor, the overhang. And I felt a bite. Sliced it. Well, we'll just leave this in there. Like, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding out, man. Some serious wounds. Okay, we're gonna have to do something. There we go. That's stuck on there. Blood sport! Yeah. That looks bad. It's like, what'd you do? Well, I tried to pierce my ear with a razor blade. So, if you're one of those individuals that don't like the sight of blood, don't watch! So I need to put a warning order in this. Like, you like the look of blood, don't watch. That reminds me of back when I was teaching, way back in the day. I taught college and school, back in the day. And it was one day I was down in the office. It was during my planning period, and I went down there and I was like getting some paperwork taken care of and some stuff printed off for classes, worksheets and stuff for the kids. And all of a sudden, one of the students comes running in, oh, so and so. It's like Mr. Shop Teacher, as I'll just call him that. I won't call him by his last name because I don't have his permission to really talk about this. They just do that for him. And he said he cut himself on the table saw, and I'm like, oh, this sounds so good. So like, we need help. And I was like, okay. So I went down there and ran out quick, and one of the teachers was with me. She looked in, and she was like, and she ran out of the room. There he was, like holding his hand and blood everywhere, and there's his thumb sitting on the on the table saw on the bed. I'm like, okay, how are you feeling? Oh, he was a done dinner and just hurting unit. And I was like, which is understandable when you leave a body part laying someplace else. You're like, okay, all right. So I grabbed some more the towels that were there, and I just like wrapped his hand up, and I said, all right, run down. I yelled at one of the kids and was like, go down to the cafeteria, get me a bag of ice. And they go, what? He's like, get me a bag of ice. Don't argue with me. Go. I was like, go. It's an emergency. We need ice. So they ran back, and I was like, all right. He was in his little swivel chair. So I was like, okay. And somebody's like, well, we called for an ambulance. And like the one teacher that ran out of the room, I was like, that's good. All right. So I wheeled him to the back door, to the parking lot, on his chair. And I said, all right, stay here. He's like, oh. He was kind of know what was going on, but he was just out of it. And so all right, stay here. And it's like, have one of the kids that was with him, and say, all right, you talk to him for it, and just keep him company. I'll be right back. And the one kid that come back with the bag, big plastic, Ziploc bag full of ice. I said, what am I supposed to do with this? I said, hand it here. And I walked over to the table and picked his thumb up, tossed it in there, and zipped it up. And all the kids were like, ah, you touched it. Ah. I was like, it's like if you'd have shook their hand, you're touching the thumb. It's no different. It's like, it's just not attached at the moment. No big deal. So I took that, and I put it in his lap, and all right, and then the paramedics showed up. And there's like, oh, ooh, okay, yeah, we'll take him to the hospital. And then they notice like the bag of ice. They're like, oh, good thinking. Like, yeah. Like, yeah, you want to save that thumb. So when you're always, I remember this when I was taking shop class way back in the day. Like, if you got something, a table saw, you always have the little stick. You always like push it through, and then when you get to that one point, you push it through with the stick. Well, he didn't use that stick that day. The one day he didn't use the stick, he wasn't thinking because he was busy explaining things to kids, was the day he lost the thumb. Never trust a shop teacher that's like, all right, kids. And I was like, with missing fingers. No, not a good deal. And I did something similar to that, but it wasn't a table saw, but a lot of blood everywhere. I'll tell that story some other time in the 9th grade shop class. But hey, you guys come back. Got it taken care of. My brother did something similar to the same thing. Except he's using a bow saw like you use for trimming trees and stuff. And he was like holding a limb going, like, dude, you're sawing your thumb off. That's how sharp it was. You never even noticed he was cutting himself. So it was too late. He didn't cut all the way through, but he went right down to the bone, into the bone, on his bone. Had to go to surgery, get everything reattached. And he cut right through his tendons and everything. All right, look at that. Oh, how did I miss that? You hear that? It's like I missed a whole spot. There we go. All right, so what should I do? The normal title for this one, and maybe I should put it in Bloodsport. Reminds me of the heck it's like we're watching on HBO. It's called Warrior. I think it's called Warrior. Started watching that. Pretty good. But the slices and dices, that's a little bit of blood sport in that one too. Alright, so there we go. Coconut lime. Whole room is permeating and smells like coconut. All we need now is a little bit of glitter and yeah, I won't go there. Alright. Yeah, something sweet. I'm going to go with Stetson today. Because it's a very sweet. Stetson is sweet. Yeah, it's an interesting gum. I don't know if they marry it very well, but I'm actually feeling a little bit of stinging today. Even with this. Normally I don't feel any stinging with Stetson. But today, I'm feeling a little bit. It's like right through here. A little bit of stinging right there. I think I caught myself. But, alright. So, that was the coconut lime with the 1964 Gillette Slim with some Astra blades. And that was it. Alright. Hope you guys liked this one. And we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.